How we doing today, fellas? How we doing? Not having too bad of a day right now. Cat peeved me off last night. But, you know, I've been trying to figure out how to get a flea collar onto her. And, she's not, the princess does not want to cooperate, you know? You know, some people have suggested, like, wrap her in a towel so she can't, like, struggle and fight. Get yourself a little, quote-unquote, burrito going. And, I don't see me being able to do that without having the claw just, like, disassemble my forearms. Because she may not have any teeth. I mean, she is an old cat, but, she's a compulsive sharpener. Her claws are really sharp. And, I prefer to keep, what meat I have on my forearms there. Some people have suggested catnip, and I'm like, you know what? Catnip and then wrap her up. And I'm like, yeah, catnip doesn't... I've given her catnip before. It really doesn't do anything for her. She's one of that, I think it's like something like 25% of the cat population just doesn't have the thing with catnip. So either I got her bad catnip or catnip just doesn't do crap for her. One of the two. I don't know which. I don't know. So, there's that. So if anyone has any other ideas on how to get that flea collar on her without her scratching me to live in hell, and, without me killing the cat, I'd love to hear them. I would absolutely, positively love to hear it. So anyways, Apocalypse. Yeah, Apocalypse is where things got truly nutty. That's when we had things like cross-color gold cards, that is, enemy colors working together, and all sorts of fun, happy stuff. All sorts of fun, happy stuff. Alright, first thing we got here is, we're doing the white today. We got Coalition Flag. It's a creature enchantment. Now, it turns creatures type into Flag Bearer. And it gives the creature the exact same mechanic that all the other Flag Bearers have. For those that don't know, the Flag Bearer mechanic was basically if an opponent uses a targeted spell or ability that could target a Flag Bearer, it has to target a Flag Bearer. All of the Flag Bearers have this ability. There were at least 2 Flag Bearer creatures. I want to say there was more, but I don't have them. I only have 2 different Flag Bearer creatures, and the enchantment, of course. It's just mean. Because basically you play Flag Bearer, preferably, you'd play this preferably on something that is otherwise difficult to remove. Something that your opponent can target, but that is very removal resistant, like something with regeneration, blah 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 blah. You know how it is. So we got that. We got the Dega Disciple. Dega was the word they had running around at the time for white allied with its enemies. There was a cycle of this. There was a disciple in each color. For example, the red was Raka, and that was red allied with white and blue. Seta was blue allied with green and red. Necra, as opposed to Necro, I want to say Necro was black allied with white and green. And green was... green was Anna. Anna was green allied with blue and black. So anyways, the Necro Disciple. All the disciples were a 1/1 for 1. You, with a tap ability of, enemy color tap effect. very similar to, of course, to the apprentices from the first part of Invasion Block and the I believe they were called Guild Mages, if I'm recalling correctly, in Mirage. So anyways, the Dig Disciple. Black and tap for to give a creature -2, -0. Red and tap to give a creature +2/+0. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Don't know if I can truly say I like it, but it's interesting. Had fun stuff. It did fun stuff in draft. Divine Light sorcery for a white. Prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn to creatures you control. Its only real drawback is that it's a sorcery. If that wasn't a sorcery, it would be stupid good. Or even if it was an instant that just said play only on your turn, it would still be stupid good. But as a sorcery, not so much, because you play it during your first main phase and then you attack, and your opponent sits there. It's like, okay, that means I might as well just chump block all your dudes since I'm not doing any damage to them anyway. Shield of Duty and Reason. Similar to the Shield of Law and Grace enchantment from earlier in the block. Gives enchanted creature pro-green and pro-blue. It's alright, you know? Especially in a block like this where you have so much multicolor running around. Gives protection to a lot of different stuff. Dega Volver. Remember I said that Dega was the thing for the for the color combination, for the white with enemy colors allied combination. The Volvers were all relatively small creatures that had kickers in their 2 opposition colors. The Dega Volver is a 1/1 for a colorless and a white. The black kicker of a colorless and a black, if you paid it, causes the Volver to come into play with a pair of +1/+1 counters and the ability to pay 3 life to regenerate him. So you paid the red kicker of a single red, he comes into play with a single +1/+1 counter and has first strike. So he's with no kickers, he's a 1/1. With red kicker, he's a 2/2 first striker. With black kicker, he's a 3/3 regenerator. And with red and black kickers, he's a 4/4 first strike regenerating. The only thing I have to say to that, though, is that first strike and regeneration, when it comes to combat between creatures, are quite frequently both serve the same function. They're defensive abilities, not offensive. Well, some people might say first strike's an offensive ability. I really think of it more as a defensive ability. But he's interesting. Don't know if I'd say he's great or anything like that, but he's interesting. False Dawn. It's a colorless and a white for sorcery. Colored mana symbols on all permanents you control and on all cards you own that aren't in play become white until end of turn. Draw a card. It's not quite a mana fixer, but basically, until end of turn, it comes very close to saying you're playing mono white. This, of course, the name and the mechanics on the card are a reference to Celestial Dawn from, if I recall correctly, it was somewhere in Mirage Block, a card that was nicknamed Bleach because not only did it do exactly what False Dawn does, it made all of your dudes white, and it was an enchantment. It just stuck around. So it said it doesn't matter what your color combination is, you are playing mono white. It's a funky little thing. That's the kind of card that I would love to have put into a deck idea I've had for a long time, which used to play play black and white together, maybe some Celestial Dawn action, you know. And the whole idea was it would be a white zombie deck. Yeah, unfortunately I'd have to play that as some sort of weird commander deck or something and make a custom Rob Zombie legendary creature. Yeah. Rob Zombie's actually from Massachusetts, my home state, which is where I live these days as well. If I recall correctly, he was originally from somewhere in western Massachusetts. I believe it. A lot of Christmases, if not every Christmas, he flies his family out to California for Christmas because he hates snow. I mean, I grew up in New England. I'm I'm okay with snow. Sometimes you hate it, sometimes you don't. It's a pain in the butt. But whatever, you know? For those who also don't know, Spider, the lead singer of Power Man 5000, Rob Zombie's younger brother. Yeah, ain't that a fun little piece of trivia? And it also makes kind of sense. Like, okay, they watched a bunch of really bad movies when they were kids. And Rob favored the horror movies, and Spider favored the sci-fi ones, apparently. I don't know. But, is what it is. Also a fun note on that, Rob Zombie's had more commercial success than Spider has, which is kind of funny though, because they both started off, with, having bands and whatnot, and Rob Zombie founded a band and then learned to play. Spider learned to play and then founded a band, so who knows? Who knows? So anyways, Manacles of Decay, yes, back to magic cards, and leaving the whole zombie family out of it for now. It's a creature enchantment. Enchanted creature can't attack. It's a colorless and a white. It sounds pretty standard so far, but you're looking at it and saying, hey, dude, I see mana symbols. What are those for? Well, the red symbol, you pump red mana into the Manacles of Decay, and the enchanted creature can't block this turn either. You pump black mana to give the enchanted creature -1/-1 till end of turn. So it's kind of funky. I mean, it's either, you can... Late game, it's kind of sort of a removal spell. Early game, it's strictly control. Can't complain. Spectral Links. I only own one of these, unfortunately. It is also a rare. It's a 2/1. Protection from green, and it regenerates for black mana. It's not bad. I won't say it's great, but it's not bad. Oh, look, it's a flag bearer. This is a 1/1 flag bearer. If an opponent plays a spell or ability that could target a flag bearer in play, that player chooses at least one flag bearer as a target. Actually, what's kind of fun, now that I think about it, is, here's the you can play the coalition flag on one of your opponent's creatures. And you would actually force them to target their own creature. That's kind of funky. Of course, on the other hand, the flag bearers also had other fun, happy little properties to them as well, on account of the fact that if you tried to play a buff spell, you would have to target a flag bearer. It's like, yeah, I'm going to giant drop. No, you're not. Why not? Because it has to target a flag bearer. Oh, crap. On the other hand, it's just, it's kind of interesting. It's funky. There are ways to abuse it. Dagger Sanctuary. I believe there were only 3 Dagger cards in each color. There was the Disciple, the Volver, and the Sanctuary. Sanctuary is an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a black or red permanent, gain 2 life. If you control a black permanent and a red permanent, gain 4 instead. It's alright. It's life gain, which means it's marginally useful. Emphasis on the marginally part. Haunted Angel. Haunted Angel is not really a good card. It's a 3/3 flyer for 2 colors and a white. Based upon that alone, you might say, whoa, it's an undercosted 3/3 flyer. And you're right, it is. However, when it goes to the graveyard from play, you exile it, and each other player puts a 3/3 black angel token with flying into play. So, yeah, huge drawback. Huge drawback. But I've actually used it successfully in draft before because it is an undercosted flyer. What else we got here? Helionaut, he's a 1/2 flyer for 2 colors and a white, and you pay 1 colorless and tap him for 1 mana of any color of your pool. Any color to your pool. Anyways, mana fixing in white is not something you come across very often. I actually run this guy in an EDH deck. I've been thinking about pitching him because I'm coming to the conclusion that quite frequently, because of other things in the deck, I really don't need him. I've got other better mana fixers that are also more prone, that are just as prone to come up as he is. And even if I do need mana fixing, once the need for mana fixing is gone, because I've got up better mana fixers or my land base balances out, he's only a 1/2 flyer. So I'm thinking about pulling him out of my EDH deck. Orm's Thunder. This is a fun one. 2 colors and a white, instant, kicker of red. It's a disenchant effect. However, if you paid the kicker, it does damage equal to the converted mana cost of that artifact or enchantment to target creature. So that's kind of funky. Angel Fire Crusader. See, that's something I want to look something up on. There we go. Had the presence of mind to have my phone over here. I started looking it up, and then I got distracted. Blah blah blah. And okay, that hopefully should work. Angel Fire Crusader. He's a. Get back to that while this is looking up. 3 colors and a white. Nice. Okay. These 3 colors and a white for a 2/3 soldier. Now you would say, okay, that's kind of overcosted. He also has fire breathing. And I just looked it up on Gather Now on my phone. Yay, phone. I just actually, well, hold on a second. Let me go back to it for a second. There it is. See? Yay. It's a droid. It's funky. Just looked it up real quick. And his creature types have been eroded. He is no longer simply a soldier. He is now a human soldier knight. Because I was looking at him earlier, I'm like, why isn't he a knight? Come on, look at that illustration. It's a heavily armored dude on horseback. How is he not a knight? Coalition Honor Guard, it's a 2/4 flag bearer, annoying as all hell. Simply because of high toughness, they're difficult to remove. Enlistment Officer. He's 3 colors and a white for a 2/3 first striker. When he hits the board, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all soldiers revealed this way into your hand. Rest on bottom. That's not bad. Unfortunately, I only own 2 of him. So if I made a soldier tribal deck, I wouldn't be able to replace it. Oh well. Gerard Capuchin. Yes, it's the legendary card for Gerard. 3 colors, double white for a 3/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, gain 1 life for each card in target opponent's hand. See, now this is a guy that you run in like some kind of a lock. If you need life gain in some kind of a lockdown deck, you know. Something that slows down how much your opponent plays cards. He's also got another special ability, 3 colors and a white, tap target creature, play this ability only if he is attacking. So, once you turn him sideways before the end of your declare attacker step, you can pump mana into him and just lock down potential blockers. It sounds fun stuff. So, that's the Apocalypse white cards. Tomorrow I'm thinking green and red, unless something weird happens, unless something wacky pops up. I don't know. Sometimes stuff does. Honestly, these days, stuff doesn't pop up quite enough for my liking, or at the very least, not stuff that is good. You know, but that's life. That is life. So anyways, call this video a wrap. Start uploading to YouTube. Get myself a bite to eat. Catch you guys later. Be good, fellas.